Welcome to the world of science fiction Neon's Alien. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a new story from Neon's Alien universe. On the dusty edge of Moon Station 17, far from the busy trade lanes, stood a lonely scrapyard. Old ships, broken machines, rusted robot parts. Everything forgotten by the galaxy ended up here. And in the middle of this mountain of junk worked a human mechanic named Logan Drax. He didn't talk much, he didn't go to town, he just fixed old things and left people alone. But that day something strange arrived. A cargo skiff landed at the far side of the yard. It didn't stay long. No words, no signal, no payment. Just a metal crate it dropped off and left behind in the dirt. Logan watched, through a dusty window. "What now?" he muttered. He walked over slowly. The crate was big, almost his height. Cold black metal, sealed with red warning lines. 3 words were printed on the side. Biohazard, do not open Logan. Raised one eyebrow. That's new. But then, he heard it. Scratch. Whimper. A soft, weak sound. He froze. It wasn't metal. It wasn't a machine. It was something alive. Logan grabbed his tools and carefully scanned the crate. No heat signature, no ID chip, no log. In the shipping record, whoever sent it wanted it gone. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small pulse knife. "Don't bite me," he whispered. With a few quick cuts, he sliced through the seal. The door popped open. Warm, foul-smelling. Air rushed out, and inside was a creature, curled up in the corner. Fur soaked in slime, skin covered in hundreds, maybe thousands of tiny black barnacle-like parasites. They pulsed, they twitched. Some of them even had small eyes. The creature looked up. Feline face. Big glowing eyes. Slim pointed ears, alien, but beautiful. Or would have been. Now it looked like it was dying. Its body shook, one paw twitched toward him. Weakly. Then it let out a sound. Murr. Soft. Almost a whisper. Logan stood frozen. He'd seen a lot of trash in his life. But this? This was something else. This was left to die. "Hey," he said gently, kneeling down. "You alive?" The creature blinked slowly. One barnacle on its neck moved. Logan winced. It wasn't just stuck. It was burrowed inside. He grabbed a blanket from his workbench and gently reached in. The creature didn't fight. It didn't even growl. It just let him lift it out, light as a pillow, bones too close to the skin. He wrapped it up and carried it into his repair cabin. Inside, he laid it on a padded table and turned on the soft light. "Let's see what you are," he said, pulling out his scanner. The screen flickered. Species unknown, age juvenile, status weak, infected, parasite. Type biotech-based organic growth infection. Level 97%. Logan frowned. "Barnacles aren't just feeding," he muttered. "They're growing with her." The creature shivered, one eye closed. Logan grabbed a cloth and gently cleaned the slime from her face. "It's okay now," he whispered. "I won't hurt you." Later that night, Logan sat by her side. He gave her a bowl of water. She drank. He gave her crushed protein paste. She licked it once, then stopped. But she didn't hiss. She didn't bite. She just watched him with big, tired eyes. He reached out and touched one paw. "Let's give you a name," he said. The feline blinked. Logan thought for a moment. "Nira," he said. "Yeah, that fits." He didn't sleep much that night. The barnacles moved every now and then. A low hum came from them, soft pulses like they were alive, or aware. Logan had a feeling this wasn't just a sickness. This was a message, in the HFY. Early morning, as red light from the nearby star rose over the junk piles, Logan stood outside and looked at the empty landing zone. No one came back for the crate, no search party, no questions. It was like they wanted her erased. He looked down at his hand, still stained with slime. "Guess you're mine now," he said. Back. Inside, Naira lay curled under a heat lamp. She was asleep, but her tail twitched every few minutes, and the barnacles? They pulsed again. Faster this time. Logan narrowed his eyes. "Whatever you are," he whispered, "we're going to figure it out. Together." The sun rose slowly over Moon Station 17, casting long shadows over broken ships and metal mountains. But Logan Drax didn't see the sunrise. He was still inside his repair shed, still watching her. Naira, the alien feline, slept on a soft towel under a warm lamp. Her breathing was slow. Her tail twitched now and then. The parasites on her skin, small black barnacle-like lumps, moved as if breathing with her, alive, aware, growing. Logan didn't like it. He tapped his old scanner again. "Come on," he muttered. "Give me something useful." The screen flickered. Warning: bioorganic fusion detected. Growth type: unknown. Infection level: spreading internally. Host vital signs: stable but weak. Logan frowned. "These things aren't just stuck to you, they're becoming part of you." He zoomed in with a lens. Each parasite had tiny root-like fibers digging into her skin. Some even connected to her. "Nerves," Logan muttered. "This is engineered." He looked back at her. "Someone did this to you on purpose." Hours passed. Logan worked quietly, preparing tools, a heat scalpel, a freezing patch, healing paste. He'd seen worse. He'd removed bombs from inside robots, guts from battle droids, even live wires from inside living aliens. But this was different. This was alive and fighting back. Just before noon, Naira opened her eyes. She tried to move, but her legs gave out. Logan was there in seconds. "Easy," he said. "Don't move too fast." Naira looked up, eyes full of fear and pain. She tried to speak, but only a small clicking sound came out. Logan placed his hand gently on her back. "It's all right," he whispered. "I'm going to help." He brought the heat scalpel close to the barnacle near her neck. "I'm just taking one. Just one." He activated the tool. It glowed red. Carefully, he touched the edge of the barnacle. It hissed. Then it screamed. Not out loud. Not in the air. In his head. Logan staggered back, grabbing his ears. His mind burned with a sharp pulse, like someone shouting inside his skull. Naira cried out too. The barnacle glowed red and started vibrating fast, then stopped. Logan gasped for air. "What the hell was that?" He sat down, shaking. "That thing's not just alive, it's linked." He looked at Naira. Her eyes were shut tight. Her chest rose fast and hard. Logan put away the scalpel and grabbed a syringe instead. A light sedative, enough to calm her without hurting. "It's okay," he whispered. "We won't do that again." He injected the serum gently into her shoulder. She slowly relaxed. Logan sat there for a long time. Then he opened his comm pad and began searching the deep net. He typed, "Feline alien plus parasite plus barnacle infection." Nothing helpful. Then he searched. Alien bioweapons attached to living host. Still nothing. Finally, he typed a longer phrase. "Parasites that scream into your mind when touched." The result shocked him. Only one report appeared. A file, 17 years old. Top-level clearance. Hidden in a dead archive. He hacked it open using his mechanic codes. The title read, Project Voidbark. Classified. Cognitive parasites designed to silence memory keepers. Self-defending. Hive mind. Infect through punishment implants. Host is never meant to survive. All cases to be destroyed on sight. Logan's blood went cold. "Silence memory keepers?" he whispered. He looked at Naira. "You weren't infected by accident." He stood up. "You were punished." He paced the floor. So, she knew something? Something big? And this void bark was their answer? He looked at the barnacles again. Thousands of them, maybe millions, living on her. Inside her, they didn't just want to kill her. They wanted to bury the truth inside her body. Forever. Outside, the wind picked up. A small beacon in the scrap pile began blinking. A signal. A faint pulse that hadn't been there before. Logan checked. The scanner. Source. Unknown. Origin. Internal. He followed the signal and found the crate. It was glowing from the inside. Another pulse. And then, a silent wave of energy burst from it. The barnacles on Naira all twitched at once. Logan ran back. Inside, Naira's eyes were wide open. She looked straight at him, her lips moved. One word. Broken, soft, but clear. Help! Logan didn't wait. He grabbed his tools, slammed the door shut, and locked the entire yard down. "I'm not letting them take you," he said. "Not them, not this infection, not anyone." He stood between her and the world, a mechanic with no army, just tools, and a promise. The galaxy had given up on her, but Logan Drax hadn't. He had no lab, no training in alien biology, no government backup, just a rusty repair shed on a forgotten moon, and one alien feline dying slowly under his care. Naira lay weak but awake. Her glowing eyes watched as Logan moved around the room, dragging tools, welding parts, and wiring scrap panels together. Outside, wind howled through the junk towers. Inside it was quiet, except for the constant tick-tick of metal being shaped. "Okay," Logan muttered, wiping sweat from his forehead. "Let's try something different." On the workbench sat a med pod, once a broken healing chamber from an old hospital ship. Logan had rebuilt it over 2 days, using leftover parts from food processors, air filters, and even an old coffee machine. Now it stood upright, glowing soft blue. He stepped back to admire it. "It's not pretty, but it'll keep you alive." Naira let out a soft, tired sound. Not a growl, not fear, just trust. Logan gently lifted her and placed her inside the pod. The barnacles twitched but didn't scream this time. Maybe they were watching, maybe they were waiting. He activated the pod. Lights blinked. A gentle mist sprayed over her fur. The machine hummed as scanners ran across her body. A voice spoke through the panel, broken and static-filled, but clear enough. "Warning. Foreign. Life forms detected. Not removable through standard medical protocols." Logan clenched his jaw. "Then we make new protocols." He sat at his desk, staring at the scanner feed. One by one, he marked every barnacle's location on her body. There were 1326 on the surface alone. And deeper inside, unknown. But he wasn't afraid of numbers. He was afraid of doing nothing. He pulled out an old tool, his precision arm cutter used for removing wiring from engine parts without burning surrounding circuits. "Let's test you on something smaller," he said. He placed a barnacle sample, one that had fallen off her paw earlier, under the lens. The tool cut halfway in, the barnacle shook, and then it melted, turning into black liquid and vanishing. What the hell? He ran the remains through a chemical scan. The result blinked. Self-erasing biointelligence, trace memory signature embedded. He leaned back. They're not just alive, they remember. Later that night, he sat beside Naira's pod. She looked better, breathing easier. The mist was keeping the parasites calm. For now. He spoke softly, not sure if she could understand. "I used to fix machines because they didn't scream, didn't bleed, didn't beg for help." He looked at her. "But you did. You didn't even know me, but you looked at me like I was the last light in your dark." He smiled a little. "And that's something I don't quit on." Day by day, he built more. A pulse field that weakened the barnacles without hurting her. A voice filter that let her speak one word at a time. He taught her to say yes, no, pain, and safe. And every time she spoke, he listened. She wasn't just a patient anymore. She was a person. On the 5th night, Logan sat outside the shed, staring at the stars. Naira was asleep in the pod, but the barnacles pulsed again, like they were talking to each other. And then, his yard sensors lit up. A ship, small, stealth class, landing behind the scrap wall. Logan stood slowly, pulling his old plasma wrench from the bench. Someone had come, not to help, to check if the experiment was still alive. He waited behind a pile of broken solar panels. Two figures stepped off the ship. Tall, thin, dressed in dark armor with no symbols. Their voices were cold. "Scan the area. She was triggered 4 days ago." No response from the hive. If the barnacles are quiet, the host is adapting. That would make her dangerous. Logan's heart pounded. They weren't here to save her. They were here to kill her. Again. He stayed silent, watched, listened. The two scanned the area, found nothing, and returned to the ship. "We'll report to command. Erase everything next cycle." They lifted off and disappeared into the night. Logan returned to Naira. She was still sleeping, peaceful. He placed his hand on the pod. "Don't worry," he whispered. "They didn't find you this time, but next time, they might." He looked at the barnacles, felt their slow rhythm. He wasn't just fixing her now. He was hiding her from a galaxy that feared what she was becoming. And somewhere inside that fuzzy body, beneath claws, beneath fur, beneath parasites and pain, was a soul trying to survive. The fourth storm of the week rolled over Moon Station 17. Lightning cracked behind the junk towers. Winds pushed sand through every crack and wire. But inside the old repair shed, Logan Drax stayed focused. He wasn't fixing ships anymore. He was fighting to keep one strange life alive. Nira, the alien feline, lay inside the med pod, wrapped in soft light. Her breathing was stronger now. She could sit up for a few minutes. Her eyes tracked movement. She even learned to say one new word using the voice filter. "Stay." She said it every time Logan tried to leave the room. Logan ran another scan. He mapped the barnacles. Many were smaller now. Some were even dead. But something strange had started. A faint pulse. A rhythm. One beat every 60 seconds. Logan leaned closer. The barnacles were sinking. He checked his scanner's frequency monitor, and there it was. A signal, a wave too weak for standard radios, but it was growing. "What are you doing?" Logan whispered. He ran a deep scan into the core of Nira's chest. The barnacles there pulsed brighter, and in the center, beneath skin, beneath bone, something glowed. Not blood, not parasite, but metal. Logan zoomed in. The scan read, "Foreign object detected shape. Hex core status. Active energy. Signature. Unknown language pattern. Blocked. Non-human code." Logan stepped back. "You've got a device inside you," he said. Naira blinked slowly. He touched her paw. "You were carrying something, weren't you?" Her eyes didn't answer, but the signal did. The pulse strengthened. 30 minutes later, the skies above the scrapyard rippled, not with clouds, but with a shadow. Logan's long-range sensors lit up red. Object entering low orbit. No ID, no reply. He ran outside and grabbed his binoculars. A dark shape hovered above. No lights, no markings, no engines that he could hear. Just a sharp black triangle floating silently. "Scout ship," he muttered, "but not here to land." He ran back inside. Nira was awake now, sitting up. Her fur stood on end. The barnacles glowed orange. "Nira," Logan said, crouching by her side. "Something's here, and I think it's listening." He opened his comm board and scanned all frequencies. The screen flashed with a code. A message. "Class Echo. Core carrier located quarantine protocol. Initiated elimination inbound." Logan stood frozen. "They're not here to capture you. They're here to erase you." He grabbed his coat, powered up his emergency shields, and activated the ship magnet in the yard, just in case. Then he picked up Naira from the med pod. "You're coming with me." She looked at him weakly. "Stay?" He shook his head. "Not this time." He placed her in a hover crate and activated the stealth cover. The barnacles stayed calm, but they were still glowing orange, a warning color. As he wheeled her out into the yard, the sky darkened again. A beam of red light shot down from the hovering ship, scanning the ground. Logan pulled Naira behind a pile of engine blocks. The beam passed overhead. Silent. Searching. Logan's heart beat fast. He knew this wasn't a bounty hunter. It wasn't a law ship, it was something older, cleaner class. A ship made to erase mistakes, to clean the galaxy of secrets that were never meant to exist. And Naira? She was one of those secrets. In the distance, the beam struck a pile of junk. The metal melted instantly. The whole heap vanished in red fire. Naira let out a low cry. The barnacles pulsed again, this time faster, louder. The crate began to hum. Logan opened it and stared. One of the barnacles had broken open. Inside it was a chip. Small, dark blue, glowing softly. He picked it up. His scanner blinked. Key module. Core memory interface. He looked at Naira. You're not just carrying tech. You're a vault. She shivered. They infected you to bury what you knew. But it's waking up now. Suddenly, the ship above moved, faster, darker, and it began charging a second beam, aimed at the repair shed. Logan had seconds. He grabbed the memory chip and stuffed it into his jacket, then pulled the hover crate with Naira back toward the bunker, hatched near the power lines. Behind them, the repair shed exploded in flame. Everything he built, gone in seconds. Naira cried out. Logan didn't stop. We're not done yet, he whispered. You're more than what they did to you. They made it into the bunker. Steel doors slammed shut. The scanner lights blinked red, then faded. Silence. They were safe. For now. Naira looked up from the crate. Her voice came through the filter, faint but clear. Why? Help? Logan touched her ear gently and smiled. Because no one helped me when I needed it. The bunker was silent. Deep under the scrapyard, wrapped in darkness and metal, Logan Drax held his breath as the scanning drones passed overhead. He had sealed the doors tight, rewired the sensors, shut off every heat source. But still, he felt them hunting. Above them, the black triangle ship hovered quietly like a shadow stretched across the stars. Naira lay in the hover crate wrapped in a blanket. Her breathing was quick. Her tail trembled. The barnacles on her skin were no longer orange, they were red. Logan tapped the stolen memory chip into his scanner. The screen showed nothing. At first. Then a single word blinked across the screen. Truth locked. Another line appeared under it. Only bond unlocked by host and protector. He stared at it. Protector? He muttered. That's me? Naira opened her eyes slowly. Her voice filter clicked on. Pain. Inside. Logan leaned down. I know, but I think you're the key to something bigger. That chip, it's part of you. Naira blinked, then weakly reached her paw toward the scanner. It sparked, just slightly. The screen changed. Memory fragment 1 unlocked. Suddenly, a hologram burst out, a projection of Naira, fully healthy, proud, and glowing. She wore a silver collar and stood in a tall crystal hall. She spoke in a strange language, fast, powerful. Logan couldn't understand her words, but he understood the fear in her eyes. The projection shifted. Blades, fire, soldiers injecting barnacles into her body as she screamed. Then darkness, and the recording ended. Logan knelt beside her. They weren't just hiding what you knew. They were trying to erase who you were. Suddenly, a sharp beep echoed through the bunker wall. Motion alert. Logan ran to the panel. Lifeform detected. Entry breach beginning. His heart dropped. They found us. He rushed back to Naira. We have to move. But as he reached for her crate, the wall exploded. Smoke and fire filled the bunker. A figure stepped through the flame. Tall, armored, no face. Just a smooth helmet and dark gloves. Its voice was cold, Robotic. Target confirmed, core carrier. Execute. Logan stepped in front of the crate. No, he said. You're not taking her. The soldier raised a pulse weapon. Nira screamed. Not with sound, but through the barnacles. A mental wave hit the attacker hard. The soldier staggered. Logan charged. He tackled the attacker with all his strength, swinging his plasma wrench into the soldier's chest. Sparks flew, wires ripped, but the soldier shoved him back, hard. Logan hit the wall and coughed blood. The soldier stepped over him, raised the weapon again, aimed it at Nira, then stopped. The barnacles glowed white. Nira stood, on trembling legs, for the first time. She didn't cower. She hissed, her voice filtered through the device. No more. The barnacles pulsed outward. A glowing ring of light burst from her body. The soldier's armor shattered. The gun melted. The walls cracked, and then silence. The soldier fell, dead. Logan stared in shock. Nira swayed on her feet, then collapsed into his arms. He caught her gently. You saved me. She looked up at him, eyes glowing faint silver. I choose to live. Outside, the black ship started to rise. It had sensed the failure. It knew it had lost, and it vanished into the clouds, retreating into space. Back in the bunker, Logan helped Nira back into the pod. She was weak, but stable. The barnacles had stopped. Moving quiet now, he smiled. You fought back, he said. You're not just a memory vault. You're a fighter. Nira blinked. A slow purr vibrated in the room. Then her filter spoke again. Because you believed I could be more. That night, Logan sat outside under the broken sky. The flames had died. The bunker was sealed again. But the war was far from over. Somewhere in the stars, others knew. Others would come. But this time, he wouldn't be alone. Inside, a once-forgotten alien feline had found her voice again, and a human mechanic had become her shield. The wind outside had stopped. Ash from the ruined tower drifted softly across the crater. But down in the bunker, there was only the hum of the rebuilt medpod and the heartbeat of something ancient. Logan Drax sat beside Nira, watching her sleep. Her breathing was calm now. Her fur shimmered with faint light. The barnacles had stopped glowing red. Some had even fallen off. What remained had changed, smaller, faded, and no longer pulsing. They were finished. But the strange glow in her chest, that was still there, stronger than before. Logan activated his upgraded scanner again. He tuned the frequency to deep core scan, normally used to check broken ship engines. The screen showed a shape buried beneath her ribs. Object, hex core matrix. Material, crystalline neural alloy function. Memory storage, plus security key. Status, locked. 1 sync remaining. Logan narrowed his eyes. 1 sync left? What's it waiting for? He looked at Nira, then at himself, then back at the scanner. Me. He remembered the words from the last message. Only bond unlocked by host and protector. He reached out and placed his hand gently over Nira's chest, just above the core. All right, he whispered. Let's finish this. Nira opened her eyes slowly. As soon as their eyes met, the barnacles flashed blue. Then, the core activated. A surge of light shot out from her chest, into Logan's hand, then up into the air, forming a holographic avatar. The bunker filled with a galaxy made of light, stars, planets, lines connecting strange locations, and at the center, one blinking red dot. Vault of origin, location unknown, access key required. Then the hologram shifted again. Voice played. It was Nira's voice. Not the broken one from the voice filter, but her true voice. Calm. Noble. Wise. I was part of the Order of the Vault. We kept the forgotten histories of the galaxy. Secrets too powerful for war, too fragile for greed. When my kind refused to give that knowledge to the High Council, they infected us, they erased our names, they called us dangerous. The hologram showed her species, Beautiful feline-like beings standing in glowing temples. Then the image changed. Soldiers. Fire. Barnacle injections. Nira's voice continued. The void bark parasites were not disease. They were control. A living prison. A slow death for those who knew too much. Logan sat frozen. They buried you alive, inside your own body. Nira's voice finished. But if you are seeing this, then someone cared enough to fight. Someone believed. And now, that someone is the key. The map zoomed in. The red dot turned green. Vault unlocked. The light faded. The bunker returned to darkness. Logan and Nira stared at each other. Logan exhaled. You were a guardian. A historian. Nira nodded slowly. Her voice filter clicked. And now, I am a survivor. Logan looked at the glowing dot on the scanner. I don't know what's at that vault, but someone's still trying to hide it. That's why they keep coming. He turned to her. They won't stop until you're gone. Or until they get, what's in that core? Nira stood slowly. The barnacles on her legs cracked, fell off like dry bark. She stepped forward on clean paws. Then we go first. Logan blinked. You mean, leave the moon? She nodded once. Together. Logan stood staring at the screen. He hadn't left Moon Station 17 in over 5 years. But now he had a reason. He looked at Nira, once dying, once abandoned, now rising like a storm behind the stars, and he smiled. Then let's finish what they tried to bury. Back in space, above a distant station, a new message was received. An officer stared at the screen. Core carrier has reawakened. Memory vault access confirmed, human involved. Termination protocol failed. The officer tapped a command. A new figure appeared on the hollow screen. Send the final hunter. And if that fails? The officer asked. The figure didn't blink. Then we burn the entire sector. Back on. The moon, Logan, and Nira packed supplies into a small ship hidden under a tarp. It was old, slow, but ready. Logan looked back at the crater, the ruined tower, his repair shed, gone, his quiet life, over, and he didn't regret it, not even once. He walked up the ramp. Nira was already inside, curled near the control panel. As the engines warmed up, she looked at him and said, "Thank you for fixing more than just metal." Logan smiled. "No. Thank you for waking me up." They blasted off into the stars. And somewhere out there, the truth waited, hidden in a vault only a bond could open, and only a human and a hunted soul could reach. The stars stretched like silver rivers beyond the old ship's window. Inside, the engine hummed with life, steady and calm. It was a small ship made of welded scrap and rewired panels. But it flew. At the center, curled beside the navigation console, Nira slept peacefully. For the first time in her life, there were no chains in her mind, no pain crawling under her skin, no voice whispering control. The barnacles were gone. What remained was her. Logan Drax sat in the pilot's chair, adjusting flight path toward the green, blinking dot on the hollow map. Vault of origin, 6.2 light, jumps ahead. The galaxy outside was still dangerous, but now he didn't run from it. Now he flew straight into it with a passenger who had once been thrown away like junk, and who now might carry the last true history of 100 forgotten worlds. Nira stirred and lifted her head. Her eyes glowed gently in the dim light. "Still flying?" she asked through her voice filter. Logan looked at her and grinned. "Wouldn't trust anyone else to steer." She stood and padded over to the front window, sitting beside him. They watched a comet drift past. Its tail sparkled gold behind a field of blue stars. Nira spoke quietly. "I used to fly in ships like this, but I wasn't allowed to touch anything." Logan raised an eyebrow. "Why not?" "I was important," she said flatly. "Important things were locked up, told to sit, told to listen, never told to choose." He didn't reply. He just looked at her and finally asked, "Then why are you choosing me now?" Nira blinked slowly, then said, Because when I was thrown into a box like garbage, you opened it. When I was covered in living death, you reached out. And when I couldn't remember who I was, and you never treated me like I was broken. She looked at him fully. I choose you, because you let me choose myself. They didn't speak for a while after that. Some truths didn't need repeating. The silence between them was stronger than most voices. Later, they reached the Vault of Origin. The ship dropped out of hyperdrive before a lonely planet covered in glowing forests and floating stone towers. The coordinates led them to a cliff, hidden behind shifting clouds. A temple stood there, tall, silent, humming with energy that made the skin tingle. No guards, no signs, just one silver door. When Naira stepped forward, the door opened on its own. Inside, light spilled out, and from the walls came echoes, thousands of voices whispering in a lost language. Her eyes filled with tears. It remembers me, she whispered. Logan stood beside her. Then go. It's waiting, but Naira shook her head. She reached back and took Logan's hand in her paw. It remembers me. But I remember you. We walked together. They entered the vault side by side. Inside, the vault responded instantly to her presence. Columns lit up. Floating, memory crystals glowed. One large orb rose from the floor. Core confirmed, a voice said. Carrier healed. Bond complete. The orb scanned both of them, then spoke again. Would you like to release the truth to the galaxy? Naira turned to Logan. He didn't answer with words. He simply nodded. She touched the orb. A shock of light filled the chamber. Across space, encrypted satellites blinked to life. Ancient records, forbidden histories, and silenced voices began streaming. Through deep channels to every system, the truth was free. The galaxy would never be the same. Later, they stood at the edge of the cliff. The sun rose over the glowing forest. Logan stretched and looked out. So, what now? Naira curled her tail around his leg. We live. He smiled. Together? She looked at him. Soft eyes, gentle voice. I opened my eyes, and I chose you. So wherever you go, I follow. Back in the stars, many still called her dangerous. Some still called her infected. But those who heard the truth, they called her something new. The Vault Heart. And they called the man beside her something else. The one who fixed the forgotten. They had no medals, no armies, just trust in a ship built from junk, carrying two souls who refused to let the other die.